Welcome back. You're watching Business Lunch on CNBC-TV18, and we do have Maruti that has reported its numbers. We were expecting a subdued quarter. Now, EBITDA has come in at 4,417 crores, and our expectation for EBITDA was at around 4,690 crores. Net profit, 3,000 crores versus at the poll of 3,779 crores. So, miss seems like coming in on the net profit front. Revenue, better than what we were expecting, 36,962. This is coming at 37,000. So almost in line to slightly better. Keeping an eye out on that one. As of now, 4,417 is what we're watching out for in terms of EBITDA. The stock has taken a bit of a fall. Margins, let's watch out for that as well, because last time the margins were at 12.9%. This time it's 11.9%. A poll was 12.7%. So there is a miss that has come in on the EBITDA margin front. We're seeing the stock also see a bit of a fall coming in. So yes, numbers don't seem to be a bit of a miss, at least, is what we're watching out for in terms of the margin front for the company and even the profitability front of the company. There seems to be a bit of a miss coming in there. Other than that, obviously the expectation was there to watch out for, because we're expecting a subdued quarter. What are the volumes turning out to be? The volumes on a year-on-year basis, that was down by 2%. So keeping an eye out on that, a better mix, because it was what we were expecting, what one was expecting this time. But that seems like that has not happened right now, and we're seeing a bit of a miss coming in on the margin front. Actually, a 100 basis point contraction is what we're seeing on the EBITDA margin front for the company. What's also important to watch out for, how is the demand outlook shaping up for FY25 and this festive season? We'd heard some bit of a concerns coming in around festive season. Now, how is that actually going to be shaping in from the company? We'll watch out for some commentary that maybe we could watch out for from the company in terms of that. As of now, our numbers are a miss. The stock is down 2% in trade, and we'll also bring in some bit of a reaction that we're watching out for, and on what Maruti is expected and how these numbers are being read by. But let's move on, and we also have Prakash Diwan to talk to us about the same in terms of Maruti's numbers. Prakash, good afternoon. First cut, seems like Maruti has missed the estimates of the street, at least, and what we were looking at in terms of CNBC, especially on the margin front. What is your outlook in terms of the numbers? How are you reading it?
So, yeah, I know while this might be a disappointment maybe as compared to the consensus, but personally, my take is that Maruti has gone through a phase of consolidating a lot of its production and operations, but hasn't had any new launches. The last significant launch that they had was the Fronx, which has taken off quite well. But after that, nothing much has happened, especially on the hybrid portfolio. So the conventional product portfolio that they have, realizations, if you see, they've not been able to pass on higher prices or move up the value chain, and that's where the margins would definitely get impacted. And to be honest, there's not much of a restocking on festive season on account of the festive season that usually happens by this quarter, or at least starts getting you some semblance of restocking. So let's see if quarter three goes off well, then there could be a little bit of a pullback. But otherwise, it could consolidate or struggle a bit for the next 6 months in this zone.
Absolutely. Maybe it could struggle a bit, because right now the stock is down 4%. Prakash, like you were mentioning, festive season doesn't seem to be too exciting. Is that a concern coming in for other players as well, or maybe it's just Maruti because of the reduction in terms of launches, or not too many launches there for the company?
So you're right. It is a phenomenon that's driven more by the competitive intensity in segments that Maruti usually has been known to lead. If you see if the market share retention itself has been a challenge for them last couple of years, with the likes of Kia and Mahindra eating into a lot of the market share. And their SUV portfolio also, if you see, hasn't really, as I said earlier, not many launches, not new products. The Chimney has been a little bit of a disappointment in terms of course, it's a different segment. It's not supposed to be mass, but it hasn't been able to, move the needle for them. So it's a competitive intensity related thing. All of them are facing that. Even Hyundai is not been very successful in terms of new launches. So we'll have to wait. Typically, what will happen is Motown is looking at a transition, and there's a little bit of a confusion amongst consumers whether hybrids are better, whether it's pure EVs that are better, or you would still go with the good old IC. So in that process, a lot of decision deferment happens, and that's exactly why the festive season is not kind of taken off very well, as in it's likely to be subdued.
Okay, yeah. Festive season surely is subdued. But Prakash, I just want to understand, right? Like, while we talk about consumers being confused about it, do you think the update on EV timeline model launch, that is also something that maybe could give in some bit more competition to Maruti Suzuki, and that could be some bit of a pressure point for Maruti going forward?
Yeah, I mean, they definitely are much late in the EV value chain. Their reliance on hybrid was far higher, and there's a dependence on Toyota. So, and Toyota is constrained by capacity, of output. So they've really not been able to play a very significant role in that, unlike other markets where hybrids have been far more dominant very quickly. So I think Maruti will have to relook at its strategy, and I'm sure they will be doing that. They would be doing that. What's good about their production is that the Sanand unit is completely operational. There's a lot of export orientation that's built in there, and once they are clear in what segment they want to play a major role in, they'll probably be able to focus on that. But these things take time. I would give them at least 2 quarters for the reset to happen.
Sure. Okay, we have Ashwin Patil also joining in with us from LKP Securities. Ashwin, good afternoon. What are you making also of the first cut in terms of the Maruti numbers? Seems like a miss coming in on that front. How is it with your estimates?
Yes, the numbers have clearly been a miss from our estimates as well as from the market estimates. The margins have come below estimates at about 11.9%, though the revenues in the top line is quite in line with the estimates. But the clear miss is on the on the margin front. We can say that the passenger vehicle industry is going through a lot of slowdown currently, and that is getting reflected in Maruti's numbers, being the market leader. And market share also is also facing challenges because of other players and overall slowdown, and the EV pack is doing slightly better, and they are quite strong on the hybrid side and the CNG side. So I think that demand is yet to demand is yet to pick up. CNG is doing good, but overall on the small car segment, that is not performing well, and that is contributing about 39-40% of their total volumes. So a big dent is coming from that front. Also the SUVs, the growth that we had seen last year is slightly getting moderated, so that being one of the major segments for Maruti with their model pipeline and existing models, that is also another challenge for them. So on and on, I would say that it's not a great set of numbers from Maruti this time.
Yeah, not a great set of numbers. And do you think, maybe this subduedness that we're seeing, passenger vehicles facing a bit of a, glitch right now, do you think that would lead to some bit of a downgrade or EPS cuts, at least for Maruti as of now, given that the numbers are not anything exciting?
I think so, because there is some pressure in the urban markets. There is a growth on the rural front, but there is a lot of pressure on the urban markets at this point in time. And if the margin performance, we'll be waiting for the commentary and getting an outlook on the overall industry going forward in the second half and FY26 as well. So based on that as well, I think markets will be revisiting their numbers, and maybe some downgrades is possible.
Okay. Some downgrades may be possible. And Ashwin, just a last word. I want to understand that, could we expect similar trends or numbers coming in from other passenger vehicle companies, or maybe Maruti because they have less of these EV options right now?
I think for companies like Tata Motors, we can see some similar kind of trend in the domestic markets. Also, JLR is not doing that, fantastically great. So, for Tata Motors, we can see, and also on the commercial vehicle side, where they are the market leader, there is also, still a negative territory they are into. So, I think for Tata Motors, at least, we may see these kind of numbers. But for Mahindra, maybe maybe we can see slightly better numbers considering their strong dependence on the UV portfolio, which is still doing better, not as great as it was doing earlier, but still there is a lot of growth over there. So maybe like for Mahindra and also for on the tractors front, we may see some sort of uptick going forward. Maybe this quarter we may not see, but going forward on good monsoons that we have seen this year. So maybe going forward, Mahindra's numbers in this quarter also we may see better numbers from them, and going forward they'll be better placed than the other two.
Sure. Thank you so much, Ashwin, as well as Prakash, for joining in with us for a quick take in terms of the Maruti numbers.